Hey guys, so I'm gonna do this video as fast as I can, and I'm not gonna cover six tools in this one. I'll kind of try to cover all of the ones which are important, so that from the next video we can start doing some interesting stuff like making stuff and not this boring learning tool stuff. Because in the end, if you don't practice, it'll not work out. Like the other day, like I'm kind of teaching Rhino to one of my friends, one of my colleagues in my office, and he's getting good at it. He's getting pretty good at it. But sometimes he kind of asks me like, "Yo, Jayati, how do you do this?" And he keeps me wondering like, "Oh my God, I don't know how to do this." And then I know what set of tools I need to use to make that work, and I just go and I just do it. And he's like, "Whoa, how did you do it?" And I'm like, "Oh well, first for starters, I didn't know how to do it. I just kind of tried and hidden trial method and it just happened. So dude, you need to practice, and if you just practice it in the office, that won't work out. You need to actually have interest in learning the software. So that's my tip, you guys. Just practice, try using tools. I can't tell you all the tools, because even if I do, one single tool cannot do your job. You have to use like a combination of tools. So the same thing can happen in like maybe 1,000 ways. It depends on how you do it. So if I want to twist the object, I'll do it in some other way, and if you want to do it, you might do it in some other way. So look for your comfort zone, and if you need help, I'm always there, right? So let's start. So I'm going to start with, I think I ended at explode tool. So let's start with the trim tool, right? So I have an object. I want to trim it along a curve. I draw a curve. Right click. I select everything and I click on the trim. Now I can remove whatever part of the tool I don't want. And here it is. Now the next tool is the split tool. Again, it works just like the trim tool, but it kind of does not eliminate or delete the other half. So if I want to split this tool, I select split. I select the object I want to split, that is this cuboid. I select the curve and right click. And here you go, I have a split tool. Now if you see in the perspective, the curve is below the object. So people who are starting, they always ask me this question, that this tool is kind of not intersecting any part. It's not kind of going through the object. So how is it even splitting or trimming or cutting? The only answer I can give you is that it doesn't matter where it is. It matters which view you use it from, right? So if you try to trim this from this view, it won't happen. But since in the top view, there is no elevation, there is no z-axis, you just see the curve intersecting and you see the object. So if you use it on the top, it'll work. If you use it in the perspective, I don't think it will work. It could work sometimes, but normally it won't if it's not intersecting, right? So yeah, you need to take care of what viewport you're using. The next tool is a group tool. You have a set of objects and you have like another set of objects, and you kind of keep on bumping them all together. You know, you're trying to click on one object and the other one's clicking, it's getting irritating. Or maybe you have drawn a product which has like loads of parts, and every time you want to select that product, you have to select each and every part. So it's better that you just select it once and just group them all together. Group them, right? And so then they're like one entity. You click on any of them and the whole thing gets selected. Now you don't want to boolean them together, because you might want to make changes, and since they're like different parts, when you send them for production, they have to be in different units, right? So you don't want to boolean them, you want to group them. If you want to ungroup them to make changes, just select it again and you just click on the next tool, which is the ungroup tool. The tools which I would be covering in this video particularly are the ones I never use through the toolbox. I prefer typing them, because all of these tools are things which you're doing when you're like in a fast-paced design thing. You're doing that thing and you're like typing, you know, you're making something fast. So you like just like type, you prefer like typing everything rather than, you know, going to the toolbar, scrolling down, click on the object. No, that does not happen. So the next tool is a point tool. Now, if you want to edit this point, you've already made it, you select it, you click on the edit points, and you see the points again. You can edit them, right? Now there's another way to view the points. Click on it and you do the other, you click on the other one, which is the points. This one's the edit points, this one's the points. So this kind of gives you points on like curve handles. Since this one's like a pretty straightforward one, it doesn't have curve handles. But if you've made like a curvy thing, then this one will have curve handles. These are curve handles, right? And if you do the first one, you get points on the curve. So that's a difference. And you use them when you're trying to edit a 3D object or when you're trying to edit a curve and you don't or you can't make another one. This is the next tool, the text tool. You can type whatever you want. You can place them. You can adjust the thickness and everything, and it comes out to be a text, which is like an object rather than just 2D text. Now we have the move tool. So you have an object, you want to move it from this place to this place. You use the gumball, right? That's the easiest way. But if you want to use it from one point to another point, like if you have another object and you just want to place this point to this point, you can't do this with a gumball. It'll always be like an approximate thing you're doing, right? You know what I mean? So you use the move tool. Rather than using the move tool, you just type in move, enter, select the object, select the point, select the other point, and here it goes. In the same way you use the copy tool, which is the next tool. You type in copy, you enter, you select the object, and you make copies, right? That's the copy tool. Now, the next one is a rotate tool. Select the object, select the rotate tool, center of rotation, and yeah, that's the thing. Now, if you want to rotate in a 3D manner, you type in rotate 3D, and you select the object, right? Let's rotate 3D for you guys. The next one is scale. You want to make this smaller, you just scale it. Click on one point, click on the reference point, and scale it down. You can scale it above the size it already is in, or you can type in the number or like the measurement you want. Now there are a lot of options in scale. You can scale them 1D, you can scale them 2D, or you can just scale them. This one's just scaling. If you want to scale them just from one side and you don't want to kind of play around with the other dimensions, then you scale them 1D, right? So in that case, just works in one direction and the others remain intact. If you scale in 2D, then only two of the dimensions would work, right? So that's the scale 2D. Like for example, you're making a table and you want the top to be longer, but if you scale the whole thing all together, you will also affect the thickness. The thickness will also grow bigger. So use the scale 1D. Next one is the direction tool. Now the direction tool does not work in closed objects like these. You can obviously check the direction of this box, but you cannot change it because it's closed, right? If you have an open surface or an open object, then if you use this tool, analyze direction, you can change it, right? You can see this, you can change it, but not in closed objects. Next one is an array tool. You can repeat objects. Like you select this, you array, you type in the number 5 in X, you type in the number in Y axis. I don't want anything in the Z axis, so I'll let it be 1. You cannot have 0 because the number you're typing in includes the objects which you can just see, right? So you cannot have 0, you have one object already. You type in enter, or you click on done. Then you select the spacing, or you do it manually with the mouse. And enter. Here it is. In similar manner, array has many options. Now, array is a very interesting tool and it makes you save time, like a lot of time. Like a polar array places objects in like a round shape. I'm not explaining this one because I want you to do it for once. And I'm not gonna spoon feed and tell you this one. I love array polar. It's like one of my favorites in array, and I love this tool. So I wanna give you like an assignment if you're watching this video, that try out the array tools, try out the variations in array tools, and let me know how you find them. The next tool is an align tool. So if you have, for example, this, and you have a cylinder on top of this, and you want to place them in the center. You want to place it on the center, right? What do? You use the align tool. You select both of them, select the align tool, and you select align centers, and here you go, the centers are aligned together. If you have a group of objects, like if you've made like loads of objects, and they're kind of not in place, and you want them to be in a particular line, then what do? Yes, you use the align tool. So when you use the align tool, make sure that these things are grouped, otherwise all the objects will separate out, right? You select all these, you align them to the bottom. And I preferably would advise you not to use this tool in a perspective mode, right? Select them, align objects, align them at the bottom, and align them at the bottom, right? Now, I'll tell you what will happen if these are not grouped in together. If you select them now, and they're not grouped together, and if you use the align tool now, this will all dismantle. Everything will come to the bottom, and you don't want that, right? So you need to group them if they're like products with different parts, and then align them together. The next one is a little kind of not a beginner thing, so you don't need to know these. You get to know these tools when you're making a product and you feel the need to use them. These are like pretty interesting tools though. I'm sorry for this noise again. I think I had the same noise in my previous video. I don't know how these people get to know that I'm making a video, and whenever I start making the video, they start talking, and I have no idea what language they're speaking in. I have no idea. And they just end up speaking and shouting their throats out when I'm making a video. I don't know, maybe they have like a camera or something attached to my room. Don't know. The next tool checks in. It's basically if you're trying to do something, it's not working out. If you're using a tool and it's not working out, and you're kind of not able to guess or maybe see what the error is, you can use this tool. You can select those objects, you can click on this check tool, and it'll give you what the errors are. I think that's about it for these videos. I know you see so many of these tools, but these tools are not that important, and they're very obvious too, like the zoom tool or maybe in height tool. You select the objects, you click on the bulb, and it hides all the objects. Kaboom. The next one is like a lock. You can lock a tool so that you don't have to touch it all the time. So it locks it into place. You cannot make changes, and the rest are pretty common too. So I think these are the tools, and I am finished with the tool series. The tool series, right? From the next video, I would be doing a Windows version of Rhino. I would be using that, and we would start making things, and let's see how it goes. I'm going to do it in a Windows because I just bought a new laptop and it's here. I've bought a MSI G series. If you want to check out the photo, then you can see my Instagram. And yeah, if you want to know more about it, if you want to know my experience with the thing, then just let me know. And for a few days, I'm gonna say goodbye to my Mac. Not really goodbye, I'm still gonna use it. I'm just not gonna use Rhino on this for a few days. I'm gonna try rendering stuff on my new laptop. So yeah, I hope this video helped you out. Comment, subscribe. If you have questions, just write to me and I will help you out. So yeah, thanks for watching. I hope it helped.